Welcome to Coin Collector's Corner. Today, we're taking a closer look at two fascinating American coins that showcase the rich history and artistry of US currency. On the left, we have the 2016 America, the Beautiful Quarter from the Cumberland Gap series, featuring a detailed depiction of a frontiersman holding a rifle with the words, "First Doorway to the West," highlighting the spirit of exploration and the nation's westward expansion. On the right, we see the classic US quarter dollar, proudly bearing the portrait of George Washington, a timeless symbol of liberty and national pride. These coins aren't just currency, they are miniature pieces of history, each telling its own unique story. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just beginning your journey into numismatics, these coins are a perfect example of how art, history, and value come together in American coinage. Stay tuned as we explore their details, history, and current market value, uncovering the hidden treasures within your pocket change. The 2016 United States quarter dollar with the D mint mark is a modern circulating coin that forms part of the America, the Beautiful Quarters program, a 56-coin series issued from 2010 to 2021. The 2016 quarters highlight national parks and historic sites, each representing an important chapter of American heritage. The Denver Mint, represented by the letter D, produced millions of these coins, making them widely available in circulation. Today, collectors evaluate the 2016 D quarter based on its condition, strike quality, die characteristics, and whether any special varieties or mint errors are present. When discussing this coin in detail, it's important to understand the background of the America the Beautiful series, the composition of the 2016 quarter, how the minting process influences rarity, and what collectors look for in the marketplace. The 2016 quarters consist of 5 different designs: Shawnee National Forest, Illinois; Cumberland Gap, Kentucky; Harper's Ferry, West Virginia; Theodore Roosevelt National Park, North Dakota; and Fort Moultrie, South Carolina. Each design carries its own story and historical value. The obverse, however, remains the same across all releases. The Portrait of George Washington by John Flanagan, originally introduced in 1932. The D mint mark appears on the obverse to the right of Washington's ponytail. These Denver-minted 2016 quarters are made of a copper-nickel clad composition with a pure copper core and outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel. Their diameter is 24.26 mm, thickness 1.75 mm, and weight 5.67 grams, standard for US quarters. Now, regarding market relevance, the 2016 D quarters are mostly common in circulation due to high mintage figures in the hundreds of millions. Because of this, circulated examples generally hold face value. However, uncirculated coins, high-grade examples, MS65 and above, or coins with unique errors may attract collector premiums. Collectors closely observe the luster, strike sharpness, absence of contact marks, and originality of the surfaces. A typical circulated 2016 D quarter in fine, very fine, or even extremely fine-grade trades at around $1, sometimes slightly more to collectors who are completing year sets or design sets. The value sharply increases when we move into about uncirculated and mint state grades. MS64 examples are moderately affordable, while MS65, MS66, and MS67 coins become far more desirable due to the difficulty of obtaining sharply struck, mark-free coins from mass production. Denver strikes are usually strong, but the sheer quantity produced leads to bag marks and minor imperfections on many coins. In today's market, the 2016 D quarter in ordinary circulated condition is generally worth between 25 cents and $1. However, collector-grade uncirculated coins may sell for $3 to $10 depending on the design and grade. Certified MS66 pieces can reach $20 to $40, and rarer MS67 pieces may exceed $100 for certain designs depending on registry set demand. Those who specialize in America the Beautiful quarters often focus on varieties and mint errors such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, die breaks, cuds, missing clad layers, broad strikes, and struck-through debris errors. These errors can dramatically increase value, sometimes reaching $50 to $300 or more depending on the severity and visual appeal. Another important point is the role of eye appeal. Collectors prefer bright, clean, original surfaces with strong luster. Coins that have been cleaned or abrasively wiped lose natural mint brilliance and drop in value. Denver Mint coins in the America the Beautiful series typically display sharper details than Philadelphia Mint examples, but both mints produced massive quantities, so quality varies. For long-term collectors, finding the very best surviving examples from circulating coinage becomes a challenge. This is why high-grade certified 2016 D quarters remain desirable even though the series is modern. Because these quarters were released into circulation, they often show signs of pocket wear, rim dings, small scratches, and environmental discoloration. A circulated 2016 D quarter is usually worth face value unless it exhibits a clear mint error, high originality, or a transitional planchet issue. Those who think their coin may have an error should examine it carefully under magnification or consult a professional grader. Errors such as missing clad layers, 10 to 20% off-center strikes, or major die cracks can bring significantly higher prices. Common minor errors, however, may not bring large premiums. Collectors seeking to build complete sets of the America the Beautiful program often pursue high-grade Denver examples because they want consistent mint marks across all years. In conclusion, the 2016 D United States quarter dollar is a modern collectible with historical significance due to its place in the America the Beautiful series. While most examples have modest market value, high-grade, uncirculated, beautifully struck pieces and certified registry quality coins can achieve stronger premiums. Coins with major mint errors also command desirable prices among specialists. For anyone holding a 2016 D quarter in ordinary circulated condition, the value is generally at or slightly above face value. For collectors, the true excitement comes from hunting high-grade examples, unique errors, and building complete sets that represent America's national parks and historic sites in a visually impressive series spanning over a decade of minting.
The 2016 United States quarter dollar featuring the Cumberland Gap, Kentucky design with the D mint mark is one of the most distinctive and historically meaningful coins of the entire America the Beautiful program. This quarter represents the gateway to the early American frontier, famously called the first doorway to the West, a powerful phrase engraved on the coin itself. On the reverse, the coin portrays a frontier-era pioneer standing with a long rifle held confidently in his hands, gazing toward the vast open land that would soon become a pathway for settlers moving westward. This evocative scene symbolizes courage, exploration, and the historic journeys that shaped the expansion of the United States. The man's clothing, the angle of the rifle, and the rugged outlines of the distant mountains all reflect the spirit of 18th-century frontier life, capturing a critical moment in American history within the small frame of a circulating quarter. On the obverse side of the coin is the classic portrait of George Washington, originally created by sculptor John Flanagan in 1932. To the right of Washington's ponytail appears the letter D, indicating that this quarter was struck at the Denver Mint. The composition is the standard copper-nickel-clad alloy used in modern quarters, with a copper core and a cupronickel outer layer. The diameter is 24.26 millimeters, thickness 1.75 millimeters, and the weight is 5.67 grams. The reeded edge and metallic ring of the coin give it the familiar look and feel recognized by collectors and the general public alike. The design of the Cumberland Gap quarter was created not only to honor the geographic passage, but also to pay tribute to the thousands of early Americans who traveled through this natural corridor seeking opportunity, freedom, and a new beginning. In understanding the value and collector importance of the 2016 D Cumberland Gap quarter, it is necessary to consider minting totals, condition, strike quality, and the growing interest in the America the Beautiful series. Denver struck tens of millions of these coins in 2016, making circulated examples fairly common. Because of their high availability, most circulated pieces are worth their standard face value, especially when they show signs of wear such as softened details on the rifle, reduced sharpness in the mountains, or minor nicks and scratches from circulation. However, collectors often pursue higher-grade examples, especially those that still retain original mint luster and minimal contact marks. The Denver Mint is known for producing generally well-struck quarters, but because such high numbers were minted, perfect surfaces can still be difficult to find. A 2016 D Cumberland Gap quarter in fine, very fine, or even extremely fine circulated condition typically trades for somewhere between face value and a modest premium. However, when we move into about uncirculated conditions, and especially into mint state grades, MS60, MS63, MS64, MS65, MS66, the coin becomes more desirable. In mint state, the value depends heavily on eye appeal, strike sharpness, surface preservation, and originality. MS64 pieces may trade for a few dollars, while MS65 and MS66 examples often attract stronger collector interest. Coins graded MS67, if well struck and nearly flawless, can reach significantly higher values, and registry set collectors may compete for such top-tier pieces. Modern coins may appear common at first glance, but achieving the highest grade with absolutely minimal imperfections is rare. Collectors also look for mint errors and die varieties in the 2016 D Cumberland Gap quarter. Examples include minor doubled dies, die chips, rim cuds, off-center strikes, broad strikes, struck through debris marks, or missing clad layer errors. Such errors can raise the value from a few dollars to tens or even hundreds depending on the severity, clarity, and desirability of the error. For instance, a noticeably off-center strike or a dramatic die break across the rifle or the figure can command far higher prices than a normal quarter. Meanwhile, subtle die chips or minor variations usually carry only small premiums unless they are dramatic and well documented. The phrase "first doorway to the West" adds additional emotional and historical value to the coin. This passage represents more than geography. It symbolizes the opening of opportunity to thousands of settlers venturing beyond the Appalachian Mountains. The Cumberland Gap itself was a natural break in the mountain chain, serving as a vital route for pioneers headed toward Kentucky and beyond. That is why the pioneers' posture, rifle in hand, eyes facing the horizon, is so symbolic. This imagery captures the courageous mindset of the era and transforms the quarter from a simple piece of currency into a miniature historical monument that circulates through modern hands. When considering the current market, a circulated 2016 D Cumberland Gap quarter is usually valued between 25 cents and $1 depending on condition. Lightly circulated examples with better detail might sell slightly higher to collectors completing the full 2016 set. Uncirculated mint state examples typically range from $2 to $10 depending on their surfaces and luster. Certified MS66 coins can bring much stronger value depending on demand, and MS67 coins, especially with outstanding strike and eye appeal, are significantly more desirable. Though modern, coins like this serve as ideal entry points for beginners in the hobby while also appealing to advanced collectors assembling high-end registry sets of the America the Beautiful series. The key to understanding the 2016 D Cumberland Gap quarter's desirability lies in the combination of meaningful history, visual strength, and modern collectible interest. While many circulated examples hold only modest value, high-grade or error-struck pieces highlight the potential of modern coinage as a valuable area of collecting. As time passes and pristine examples become harder to find, the upper-tier coins will likely continue to gain importance among enthusiasts who appreciate both numismatic quality and American history. The frontier spirit captured in the design resonates with collectors worldwide, making this coin not just a piece of currency, but a timeless symbol of exploration, determination, and the expansion of the United States.